What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Webull preferred. But what's their best promotion they have right now in the pinned comment? All you have to do, click the link, go open an account. They're going to give you some free stocks. And obviously, you know why we're here. The Maximum Football trailer dropped from Modus Games. Looks absolutely incredible. Obviously, we knew they were going to do the Unreal 5 engine, which was a major upgrade to lighting, shading, and you see that on display here. However, there was a big surprise in free-to-play. I'll talk about that in a moment, but from a gameplay standpoint, online multiplayer is something a lot of people have wanted in a sports game. Hasn't been in every game. It has really hurt the sales. From there, we talk about quality of animations, the throw, the swat, the catch, the tackle, physics-based tackling, which is something that this game was built on years ago. Looks incredible with these new player models. And then obviously we go forward and just look at some of the sizzle reel, if you will. The customization had already been there from before. The Dynasty mode they're going to talk about in a moment. If they just kept the Dynasty mode that was here, I mean, one of the most replayable deep Dynasty modes in Maximum Football of any sports game, period. So I know, obviously, sentiment with this trailer is relatively high, but I just want to take a minute to remember David Winter built this game years ago, right? And did a lot to improve the game's quality. Now, that means that all of the investment really wasn't done by Modus. All of the building, the brick by brick, if you will. So the fact that they took this game over and created something that looks like this is even more impressive to me. And maybe that factors into the free-to-play, is they don't have as much time invested as David Winter did, right? I will say the free-to-play concerns me, because, free-to-play often means, microtransaction-based. We've seen how that goes with Madden, but we've also seen how that can go with quality games you want to play. And I can tell you, by looking at this and the reception of the community, a lot of people want to play this game. This game was also done during a time where EA couldn't put out a college game. Even more impressive. And I will say, when this game comes out, we need to understand what this company's done and shown us. They want to make the best game possible. They really do. And when you keep that perspective to any game issue that might come up, might have gameplay otherwise, that commitment is going to hold to fixing the game too. This is something that they did because they wanted to bring a game out. They wanted us to have a good experience. And we all understand, or we should, that experience might not happen right away. But let's respect what they've done with this product when it doesn't meet every expectation and give them an opportunity to fix it. And you know what? If they can't fix it, then sit here and discuss it and try to make other aspects of the game great. But I didn't know what my expectations were going to be when this trailer released. I knew it was coming, but every expectation has been blown away. I mean, from the player models to the tackling to the landscape to the shading to the lighting, every element has been captured by this game of what we wanted to see, and then just a little bit more. I mean, even taking a look at the way the metallic helmets are, which is something other games have struggled with, shows me that everything was done with a purpose. The move up to Unreal was done with intent, and they really have put in the effort to make the best game they can. Hopefully, it's something that they say we can get our hands on by spring. I know that sometimes dates can change, but this company's held pretty true to what they're doing. This trailer went live across all platforms, including the Xbox channel, which gets a lot more views than anyone in this community would. So it's really, really nice to see multi-level support of this game. And I think the more people can look at a trailer like this, the more people can get excited about a game like this. It can really bring our community back. I've said in the past couple of videos that, the simulation football community, really football gaming as a whole, all of our channels, for the most part, have seen a step down in views, interest. And that's no fault of creators. That's the fault of where we are. We're entering the biggest time right now for football. And the fact that our channels aren't operating at max capacity says a lot about the tools that we have to work with. And a tool like this, Maximum Football, is going to be something that can change everything for everyone. Not just content creators, but you as the customer as well. It gives you another option of football to play. Now, to that point, it doesn't have to be the only option you want to play, but I think we've all learned over the past 10 years, 15 years, that one game in the market is not doing it. It's not providing any level of innovation. It's not providing any level of competition. It's not providing any level of desire to make a better game. And it's up to the customer to say, this is a game that we want to support. And when you have a game that's free, I think that makes it really easy to do. But like I said, I do know people get turned back by free games because, well, there's a stigma that if it's free, it must not be worth anything. And if it's free, well, you must make me want to purchase everything along the way. So that's a decision that I trust. They made knowing the best choices to make for themselves and the product they wanted to deliver. I think in a way, maybe a demo would have been the best option. Give us, like EA used to do, give us 1 game, 2 games, couple teams, let us see for ourselves what we want to do and then build off that. But, obviously free to play, completely different direction than I think any of us anticipated and, truthfully, where the game had been before. So, with that said, I know there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dissect. Obviously, I want to go back through this trailer a little bit more granular. I know some of the issues this game had faced since, really working with David Winter on it years ago. And I think one story I've told before, but just to show you the commitment to David in this project, and obviously seeing where it is now, David once spent hours with me on the phone trying to get the game programmed proper for my system so that I could play it. And I had never really, outside of Backbreaker, had a gaming company work so hard just to get my feedback on a game. And obviously, he did everything he could with the tools, resources, and really the budget that David had. And that's why I was so excited to know what that game was built on and built with, and see a larger scale studio get it. A studio that could give the attention to the game that it deserved. And it's really sad that the community didn't support David more and give him that opportunity, but hopefully he understands that he had a lot to be proud of, and what they've made this game into is incredible. And I can just say from the beginning, with every football game that I've covered, this is ultimately the goal they all have. This visual that you see is what they want their game to be, and the only way that any of them are going to get there is through support, is through talking about their game. So when I come and put up a video about another football game, and people sit there and talk bad about it, or say that, you should talk more negatively about this game, at the end of the day, the reality is every one of those games wants to be the best football game there is out there. But only one of them gets to be your favorite football game. So for a lot of us, our favorite football game has been 15, 20 years old. So to have the concept of our favorite football game coming out last year, that means a lot. But when you see games that are building, when you see games that are trying, when you see games that might be, in your opinion, struggling, understand that, there is a light at the end of all this. They are trying to get to a product that looks like it can rival any football game or exceed any football game on the market. But if you're going to go into it closed-minded and say, well, this isn't game XYZ, so I don't want to play it, or this game looks bad, so I'm not going to enjoy it, then you're never going to find it getting to that point. And I'm not saying that you just blindly buy football games and hope that they're all going to get to this point. You have to, kind of vet your options and see what's going to work for you and what you want in a football game. Look at Mutant Football League. That game looks incredible. That game's absolutely visually stunning. And by the way, that game's being built in a war zone, of all places. So games can do great things. You just have to give them an opportunity and have the right people in place. And I think that's what we're ultimately going to see with Maximum Football going forward. I would love to know your thoughts on this. I appreciate you watching this video, and I will be back in a week with more commentary.